Here's how I replaced the standard rear spring on the RAEV Bullet GT with a shock absorber that is air adjustable and also has adjustable rebound damping. First of all, I put the bike on a center stand because the swing arm is going to drop once I take the shock out. Next, remove the bolt that holds the top part on, and then I had to kind of bang this rod out. So there's a rod in there that has bolts on both ends that's holding the top of the shock on, and it doesn't want to come out easily, so you got to pound on it a little bit. There's probably a cleaner, safer way to do it, but I managed to get it out without any damage. And you find the same kind of thing on the swing arm. There's a rod in there with bolts on either end, so you take one bolt out and push the rod through, and then it comes out just like the one on top did. And then we look at the original shock. You see it doesn't have any damping at all. It's just a spring on a stick, basically. So this is definitely going to be an upgrade. And the good news is the new air shock has the exact same dimensions as the old one. It's a 200 millimeters long shock that I ordered, and then the top and bottom ends are exactly the same size. It's got lockout and it's got rebound damping, and I put a little bit of extra air pressure in it because I'm thinking that it's got bicycle numbers and I wanted to add a little weight because the e-bike is heavier. So I put some grease in the holes, and then you got to mount it upside down, because if you put the top part of the shock up there, you wouldn't be able to adjust it and it just wouldn't fit in that small space. A lot of people with mountain bikes do this, so it's not really going to cause a performance problem. Next, I found that I couldn't get the rod back in through that hole without releasing the subframe, loosening up the bolts so I could move the seat subframe around. And then tighten the bolt in there once I've got the top of the shock in place. And then the bottom one, run that bolt through there. And then what I quickly discovered was you should attach the bottom first and then the top, and you'll have no problems. But in my case, because I did it backwards and I didn't have enough clearance, I had to actually lift up the seat subframe and then put the bottom of the shock on like this. And then put the bolt in the end of the little tube. And then bolt the seat back down, and I'm done. Well, this shock is made by DNM. I paid $99 for it. I'll put a link in the description. And you find that the frame interferes with my ability to put air in it. But if I sit on the bike, then I have enough room to reach the air nozzle. So you got to sit on the bike, screw the air nozzle on your pump on, and then get off the bike to take the pressure off it and then pump it up. So you can do that. Maybe I could have mounted it upside down, but I'm not sure. I didn't bother trying to flip it over. And as you can see, this is what it's like to ride on a rough road. So you can see it's sucking up all the little bumps, which I think is the most important thing, is it's a lot smoother ride in general. And on big bumps, this was before. You see the rear tire barely moves when I jump, but that's actually kind of good for stunts. And then with the shock set to full bounce mode, if I jump it, you can see the rear wheel hops up and down, and it gives me a little more a cushion.